Hello, welcome back to the Padded Room. I'm Wayne, and this is Talking Tech with Wayne, the show dedicated to discussing smartphones, smart homes, and all those things in between. This show is a promise of information freely given to all that seek it, and that is a pact between me and all of you. Log on to our website and click the Join the Discussion button to, join the discussion. While you're there, check out my past shows or click the Schedule a Call button if you're interested in exploring how to bring a Talking Tech discussion group to your local church or community center. The website address is above my head along with the number to our helpline where trained technicians are ready to answer your questions 24/7, and best of all, it's 100% free. Celebrating the last show of the first season of Talking Tech with Wayne, I'm going to begin a tradition. Today, I'm answering two questions that I've gotten from my in-person discussion groups. I will use this opportunity to take a deep dive and really examine them in detail. I will be repeating this tradition to enhance the understanding of critical information or topics. If there's a question or topic you would like me to take a deep dive on, log on, click, and share. A number of questions that seem to come up very often revolves around passwords. Prior to the 1990s, the only password you needed was the one that let you into the secret club in the basement of your best friend's house. Then, even if you forgot it, the gatekeeper could be persuaded to grant you entry with enough candy. Those days are long gone, and all the candy in the world won't be any use without that dreaded password. First, a little context. What are the rules of the road? Well, any password should be easy to remember but hard to guess. It should not be found in a dictionary, and is suggested to be at least 8 characters long and recommended to be around 12. It should not be the name of a loved one or pet, and it should contain both numbers and special characters like percentage signs, hash marks, or punctuation marks. Finally, you should not use the same one at every site. Wow, that is a scary set of requirements. Let's talk a little bit about why and then how. Why you shouldn't use any dictionary word is because the bad guys have tools that can go through the alphabet trying every combination of letters until it gets the right one. FYI, that also includes multiple words. The length requirement is there because even that tool gives up trying at some point, and special characters help trip it up as well. The reason no loved one is because of the mountain of information we already have on the net, including your loved ones, pet names, and so on social media and the like. Consider for a moment just how many passwords you're using. There's probably an email account, maybe cloud storage, almost certainly social media. Perhaps you even have an account for Spotify or iTunes, and maybe eBay. Amazon, Netflix, and the list goes on and on. You may even have apps for restaurants and supermarkets. Put it like that, it's more than you think, right? While 1 or 2 passwords are easy to remember, 5 or 6 becomes a little trickier. Of course, there's the temptation to use the same password for all accounts. However, you should never do this. All a scammer needs to do is crack one account and they'll have access to all. I know that's a lot for mere mortals to sift through, so now the how. The superpower that technology is famous for is its ability to solve problems. There is no more important problem than how to keep the good people of Gotham safe as they venture out onto the internet. The solution is password managers. With a password manager, you don't need to remember every password for every account. The tool will do it for you. You only need to remember one password. Password managers use a master password that gives access to the encrypted contents of its secured vault. So, if you remember the master password, your password manager will work filling passwords and account details when required. Sometimes you don't even need the password. For example, the LastPass app for mobile devices can use the phone or tablet's thumbprint reader for authentication. Another advantage of Password Manager is how it can speed up logging onto websites and mobile apps. This is because the Password Manager will record your username along with the password for the corresponding site. When the login page is visited, this will be detected and the credentials automatically copied from the Password Manager. With a Password Manager installed on your system and integrated with your browser, your passwords are securely stored. Often, you won't even know what a password is, as the software can take over the job of creating it. But what if you need to know a password? Well, you can look it up in the Password Manager. Perhaps you're trying to access an account from another device, for example, or set up a mobile app. Simply open your Password Manager, find the list of accounts, and click the eye icon to view the password. As I mentioned, Password Managers store information securely. There is no way anyone can access your details without your master password. This encrypts the storage, making it impossible to decode and steal. It isn't just passwords that are stored in the Password Manager either. Credit card details can also be stored, while most tools often provide a basic notepad for storing important information. This might be documents or pass keys to lockboxes, padlocks, storage facilities, codes, or whatever. Most solutions are available across multiple platforms. For example, if you use LastPass, it is available on Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, and Android. You'll also find plugins for Firefox, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Opera, and Safari browsers. Your Password Manager can sync accounts to any device you install it on. Simply log into Sync Passwords and sign on to any account or app with any device. This works seamlessly. For example, a Windows user can sync their passwords with an Android phone. It's really that easy. The complexity of your Password Manager creates can be customized. However, by default, they're set to be tricky to hack, taking advantage of upper and lowercase characters, numbers, special characters, and punctuation. The result is a different, randomly generated password for every account you have set up in your Password Manager. Remember the trouble you were having remembering passwords for just a few sites? Not only does your Password Manager remember your account credentials, it can create a secure password to enhance your security. No more password duplication. No more passwords that are basically the same but with a different number at the end. With the Password Manager app, you can augment your online security, safe in the knowledge that your passwords are safe. Try using the internet searching skill we explored on an earlier show to compare the different password managers. Okay. Another frequently broached topic was cord cutting. Before I delve deep into the history of cord cutting, I must define what cord cutting exactly is. For the sake of this show, in simple words, cord cutting is the act of making the choice for paying for streaming video over paying for traditional cable TV. And that also includes the TV you get from Verizon. Cord cutting started somewhere between late 2007 and early 2008. It was at this juncture that cord cutting moved from just being an experimental activity to a more radical movement. So, how did cord cutting start? There are two major events that took place around that time which made streaming content easier. One was the release of the first Roku player and Apple TV device, which totally transformed the way viewers watch videos, changing it from being a complacent computer-based activity to a more portable pursuit on TV, since these devices can be plugged directly into the TV and content can be streamed instantly without any need for any additional equipment. Another major event in 2008 was the addition of apps for Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon on devices like Roku and Apple TV, which enabled providing great content for users at their convenience. You may wonder, why did people want to cut the cord? Well, there's so much more to cord cutting than just being able to save money each month. In comparison to hefty cable TV package subscriptions, that's definitely a plus. With traditional TV, viewers were limited to watching their favorite movies and TV shows in the living room from the comfort of their couch. If they wanted to watch TV in other rooms, they would require a separate connection from their cable TV service provider. This scenario was changed drastically with cord cutting, since viewers are no longer limited to watching their favorite TV shows, movies, or whatnot, TV channels, and other videos on one specific device. As the term TV Everywhere suggests, viewers can literally stream video content from anywhere, at any time, on any device of their choice, whether it's a smartphone, tablet, smart TV, laptop, or essentially any device that supports streaming. People were also getting tired of browsing through scores of channels, most of which were part of a package and were not consumable in terms of viewing. This led to subscribers of traditional TV feeling frustrated about the fact of the limited choices as far as what they want to watch on TV. Switching over to a streaming service provider provided the convenience of choosing exactly what the viewer wants to watch, what a viewer wants to watch, where one wants to watch it, and the content. They were no longer bounded by a TV schedule. Another important factor was commercials. On services like Netflix, TV shows and movies can be watched without any commercials, unlike a traditional cable TV service, where there are annoying commercials every few minutes. Even if you're paying for access to this TV channel. Some other factors contributing to cord cutting could be the rising cost of TV service, people losing interest in traditional cable programming led to an increasing number of people to drop cable and switch over to streaming. If you think about it, there's a lot of talk about how cord cutting is simply about saving money and nothing more than that. We can take example of the music industry, specifically with iTunes, where users can buy individual songs that saves them money. However, it is more about the ability to pay for just what you want. So, in a nutshell, that's the whole truth behind cord cutting that cable personnel overlook. Introduction of platforms like Roku and Apple TV and the 2008 recession made people ditch cable and satellite TV so they can save money. However, that makes one wonder, why didn't people go back to watching traditional TV after the economy improved? It all boiled down to control and content. Once you ditch cable TV and discover how cord cutting works exactly, you will know what a great experience it is to watch what you want and when you want to watch it. Cord cutters have a lot more control now over what they watch, what they want to watch, as compared to what they wanted to watch back in 2008 to 2010. There is so much more to cord cuttings than just being able to save money each month. Cable TV package subscriptions, that's definitely a plus. It offers a much enhanced TV viewing experience to viewer and puts them in control. Viewer's schedule no longer needs to revolve around the TV guide, and this is a much more liberating experience to the viewer. If this all has you thinking about where to start, then the first place to look is your TV. Does your TV has what it takes to enable you to cut the cord? The answer is yes. Most TVs manufactured after 1960 have RCA input connectors. They are the white, red, and yellow round ports on the front, sides, or back of your set. Roku does have a model that will connect, but more on that later. The trade-off is that they will only be able to deliver standard definition display, which when compared to high def, 4K or 8K, may leave you wanting. If your TV has HDMI inputs, then you are ready. If you have heard over the last 30 seconds what sounded like the adults in the Peanut cartoon, wah, 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 then head over to my site for more information. However, if you're still with me, then let's look at streaming boxes. The three leaders of the pack are Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. I see a hand from one of the kids in the back of the row. My, they have been quiet. Your question is, you have a smart TV, do you still need a streaming box? The short answer is yes, and for the reason you need to dig down into the device manufacturer's business plan, coupled with basic network security. First things first, TV manufacturers are in the business to make TVs. When they push your set off the assembly line, they may provide one, maybe two updates, and then they're concentrating on building and selling another unit to the next customer. So you might wonder what that has to do with anything. To answer, well, everything. Remember in an earlier show on security when I encouraged you to update every internet connected device every time an update is offered? Well, that was because many of those updates are security related and in direct response to the bad guys having found a weakness in that device. Well, just because the manufacturers stopped updating doesn't mean the bad guys stopped finding these weaknesses. This inequity resulted in internet-connected TVs being one of the most insecure devices in existence today. Conversely, it turns out that streaming boxes are frequently updated, making them some of the most secure. So my suggestion is to disconnect the TV from the home network and run the network through the streaming box. So, whatever TV you currently own is streaming box ready. If you are buying a new TV, my recommendation is to do the research and concentrate on the best picture quality. Pay no attention to the claims of all of the built-in apps it has. Now, on to streaming boxes. Choosing one of the lot can be daunting. I will compare them in several areas to see how they go head to head. My first metric will be the ease of setup. When looking for a brand new streaming video player, it's important to find one that's easy to set up, especially if you're buying it for someone who might not know their way around technology. That being said, all three of the major streaming video players are pretty easy to set up. Roku requires you to connect the players to the web using a code that appears on your screen, while Apple and Amazon can connect to the internet without requiring you to go to the website to register them first. So the first leg of the race goes to Apple and Amazon. Next, let's look at compatibility. While all four of the major players differ in the variety of ports offered along their backside, there's one common thread among all of them: the HDMI cable. Well, what does that mean for you? Well, if your TV has HDMI, then any of the three providers will do. However, if your TV is older, then Roku is the only vendor offering a model of which can use RCA inputs. The winner here is Roku. That being said, setup and compatibility is one thing, but actually using the device on a day-to-day basis is another. After using each interface for a number of years, I have to say Roku probably has the best, most intuitive interface. Why? Well, because everything is easy to find and relatively straightforward. There's a space for everything in the home channel, and while Roku doesn't have the most interesting app selection in the world, we'll cover that in a second, it's not hard to find something to watch. Similarly, Amazon Fire TV devices have a pretty straightforward interface as well. However, it largely depends on you subscribing to Amazon Prime to function. If you're a Prime subscriber, you'll find recommended films and shows readily with additional for-purchase options listed further on the home screen. While the old Apple TV rather enthusiastically offered you iTunes-based content among all others, its current operating system integrates all of your other apps in a more helpful way. It has games, productivity apps, music, and video streaming apps from a number of high-profile developers, offering a great selection of content while still keeping everything organized and easy to find. Winner? I like Roku's simple interface the best, but recognize that some might appreciate the Apple TV's flashy, colorful, and well-organized aesthetic. The good news here is that all three major players support Netflix and YouTube, the two staples of streaming video, and they also support native Amazon Prime Video apps as well. They also all support Plex, which is the #1 app to stream your own media. At least you all can rest assured knowing that whatever box you buy you can watch most of your favorite shows. So, what are the differences? Well, on Apple TV, you have the ability to watch anything from an iOS device thanks to AirPlay, a technology that takes whatever you're seeing on your screen and sends it to your TV. That includes photos, music, and more. And it's pretty convenient if you're big on Apple devices. So, what do Roku and Amazon bring to the table? A little thing called Universal Search that helps you track down the best places to stream shows and movies. Search any title on either device and you'll see a list of everything streaming, every streaming service offering the film, along with the price for each. This is really handy if you're a thrifty spender and you don't care where content comes from. Winner, on content alone, all of these options are great in their own way. Here we are at the end of the road. Hopefully, you can point out the differences between an Apple TV and an Amazon Fire TV. Amazon Fire TV Stick is perfect for the Amazon Prime watcher in your life. Alexa, Amazon TV built-in AI can help direct you to tons of new shows at the best price, but will obviously steer you towards Amazon titles and services most of the time. Apple TV is naturally best for those in the iPhone iOS ecosystem with a host of neat apps and games, while Apple TV 4K brings the platform up to date with 4K and HDR content. It's one of the most expensive options on the list, but it has the most potential as it continues to evolve. Drum roll, please. Roku is our all-around favorite streaming video player platform. It might be basic by some people's standards, but it knows how to sniff out content from any of the major streaming services and can play nice with everything. It offers 4K and HDR streaming, and the hardware is pretty future-proof. As always, don't think of this show as a definitive statement on passwords and cord cutting, but rather a signpost leading you to the next steps. Well, I see that's all the time I have for today. It has been my pleasure to be here, and I look forward to the next time we can do it again. I wish you all a farewell.